Okay, so let's continue our recap. Let's talk about episode 2 of Off Campus. In the beginning of this episode, they were so to all the boys I've loved before coded. Like when he was like, you gotta take a picture of me on your phone and like I'll make you my screensaver. Like, bro, it was so Peter Jean. It was so Peter Kavinsky. I was in my I was in my bag. Like, especially because like I watched To All the Boys I Loved Before in grade 9, and it will forever have like a special place in my heart. So watching them be like, it was just it was so cute. In To All the Boys I Loved Before, the picture Peter took of him and Lara Jean, like that one was cute. And this one, it was ugly as hell. I mean, they knew it was ugly as hell too, but I was just like, ooh, y'all are busted looking together. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Their whole convo about like, even though this is fake dating, no real kissing. I'm like, that's To All the Boys I Loved Before. Like, it was, oh, it's like, it's nice to be back in your teen girl era. It was so cute. It was so fun. But one thing, like, this show started, right? And Garrett was basically trying to explain how the fake dating would work, and he was explaining it in like hockey terms. That's so cringe to me. That's so gross. I hate it so much when like, to show that a person is really into a sport or something, they explain everything in the like in terms of that sport. He was like trying to explain how they were gonna fake date to Hannah, and he was like, this is hockey 101. He's like, in hockey, first you keep the puck in the time zone and away from like the opposition, blah blah blah. I was like, broski, don't rage bait me. Like, don't piss me off. It's so cringe. And then she was like, am I the puck? Like, what is happening? And I was just like, you could have just easily have told her like, hey, this is how we're gonna do it. You and I are gonna like pretend to go on dates to make Justin jealous. That's just all you had to say. You didn't have to do the whole look, I only think in hockey, so like just don't rage bait me. Just don't rage bait me, okay? Like, that was so cringy for me. So in this episode, they've agreed to start fake dating, right? So Hannah comes over to Garrett's house, and they go to Garrett's room, and Garrett like calls a bunch of girls puck bunnies, and then Hannah's like, "Do you really call them puck bunnies?" And Garrett's like, "No, they call themselves that." And okay, I just want to say like I don't know enough about hockey culture to understand the impact of the term puck bunnies, because like on other media that I've seen, people are like, that's completely rude, like you should not be talking about girls like that. But then like in this one he's like, the girls actually call themselves that, and I'm like, hey, like if you call yourself that, like I'm here for it, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what? Like, you know, like the whole young ho thing. Like, but that's what I think it's like. I'm like, is it like the whole young ho thing where like I can call myself a young ho, you cannot call me a young ho? So I don't know. I don't have enough like knowledge on the hockey culture to comment on that. But I was like, Garrett, I'm keeping my eye on you. So basically, she agrees to fake date him. They're in his room. She's also tutoring him, right? And so a bunch of people are like texting him like flirty stuff. They're like, hey Garrett, I love you. Hey Garrett, hit me up. Hey Garrett. And so she grabs his phone, and like she responds like, I'm not even gonna say what she said, but I'm like, I don't think she sent that text, right? Because in the book I think she did. But in the show, there's no way. Like, that's unhinged, right? Like, I'm like, I don't think Hannah would send that in the show anyway. So I was like, I hope she didn't send that text, because somebody else, because if she did, somebody Garrett is gonna get a very angry text message back being like, who the are you talking to? Okay, so I forgot to tell you guys something, so we're gonna back up a bit. So in the first episode, Hannah, I told you guys she's a classical composer and she's basically on scholarship, but they canceled the composing scholarship for classical artists. So she's now like, oh, okay, then I'll do pop because there's more money in pop. And her like advisor is like, I don't think you know how to write pop music. But she's like, I really need the scholarship, so I will try. Like, I will write pop music, period. And so now, like, she's struggling because she's not really into pop music, but she's like, I will do this for the scholarship. I need the scholarship to stay in school. So basically, she tries her best. She writes pop melodies and she takes it to her, like, her classical composition class to get feedback. And there's one dude in there that is being an absolute menace to her. He's fully just rage baiting her and just downright hating on her. He's like, we're classical comp majors, what do we know about pop? Okay, that sounds like reasonable when I say it, but when he said it, it sounded like, rah, 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 I'm being mean to you. So yeah, just trust me, he's a hater. Okay, he was a hater. And I was just like, man, shut up and die. Shut up. Although now that I'm saying what he said out loud, I might have been overreacting. But yeah, her first pop song, like, it's her first composition, so it's not good, but I don't think, like, even her teacher expected it to be good. I don't think she expected it to be good. It was just a work in progress. But to me, no, I don't know too much about music, but I don't know, it sounded a bit classical to me. Like, what did it sound like to you guys? Okay, so they've agreed to start fake dating, and they go to class, the class they have together, the class she's tutoring him for. They go to class and they're like, this is our first chance to make Justin Cole jealous, because, you know, he's in the class too. And and Garrett pulled up late and he's like, I brought coffee for my girl. And I was like, maybe I'm just like, maybe it's like the singleness is getting to my brain, because I was like, oh, this is so cute, you guys are so cute. And he comes with like the most giant ass, like, big black water bottle. It's like this big and like super round, and like they're in class like cuddling, trying to get Justin Cole to notice them and be jealous, which I'm like, unless he's like 2, why would he like, why would he be staring at you two cuddling in class? But yeah, anyway, like, Hannah's like trying to like cuddle Garrett, and she's like leaning on him and stuff, and she's like, is he looking, is he looking, is he looking? And Garrett's water bottle is like balanced on his table, and in an effort to better cuddle Garrett so that Justin will notice and get jealous, she accidentally knocks over like the black water bottle, and it's the loudest like tin can, and it just rolls down the stairs so loudly, just blop, 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 and like everybody in class like basically shuts up and just stares at the water bottle, and it rolls all the way down. Like, even the professor stops talking and just watches it, and it rolls all the way down the stairs to the front of the class. And I was like, I was about to die of embarrassment for them. Like, it was so bad. Oh my god, it was so bad. I loved the cringe of it all. I like the joy and pleasure I took from the cringiness of it was, ooh. So basically, after that scene, they go to Allie to basically be like, oh, we're gonna go to a party tonight, and like we're gonna go as a couple so that Jules believes that we're a fake couple and posts us on the gossip Instagram page, and like Justin Cole will see it and get jealous and fall in love with me. Like, okay, so they tell Allie basically so that she can give them a costume, and a massive change, just like off the bat. Allie knows immediately that it's a fake relationship. They tell her that was not the case in the book. Also, he isn't rude to Allie when they first meet, because in the book when he first meets Allie, he pissed me off, bro. He was so rude to her. He was like, yo, what's your name again? I was like, who are you talking to? That's your girlfriend's, that's your fake girlfriend's best friend, and you're gonna talk to her like that? Like, oh, I'm sorry. Book version of him pissed me off so much that I can't stop. Like, I keep thinking about him, and I'm like, whoever rewrote this series was doing God's work. Like, and they removed a creepy ass line that he said. I'm not gonna say it, but I'm going to put it up somewhere just so you know exactly why I take so much joy in the fact that they changed the book. So yeah, basically Allie's like, I know exactly the thing. I'm gonna get you guys the cutest matching costume so that everybody thinks you guys are a couple. After they leave Allie, they go to the hockey rink where like the hockey team is practicing, and then Garrett and some of the other hockey guys, I think they're doing promo videos for like their season. And so Garrett's coach comes up to her and is like, oh, I don't normally let girlfriends watch. And she's like, oh, I'm not a girlfriend, I'm his tutor. And he's like, oh, then you can stay because like we need him, like help him pass this class, we need him here. And she goes like, honest question, like, why don't you just ask, like, why don't you just talk to his professor and get him a grade? And the coach is like, Garrett didn't want that. I was like, should we clap for Garrett? Like, should we clap for Garrett that he didn't ask you guys to cheat on his behalf? Also, if you guys are cheating for your athletes, shouldn't this be like a secret? Should this be something you're just telling everybody? Like, yeah, if he asked us to, we would have called his teacher and be like, we need him to get a better grade so that he can play hockey. Like, that, bro, that sounds like a scandal in the making. Like, why would you just tell anybody that? I was looking at that coach like, bro, shh. After her conversation with Garrett's coach, she meets up with Garrett in like the weight room. And then he's basically goading her. He's like, yo, you know, if people are gonna believe that we're fake dating, you gotta stop blushing every time like I tease you or like come near you. And she's like, I don't blush. And he's like, oh yeah. And he like walks up to her with like weights on in his arms and he puts it around her. Like she's in the middle and like he puts one weight down here and one weight down here, so it's like she's between his arms. And she's like, oh yeah, and then she like kisses him to show that she doesn't blush. And I was like, bro, like can you tell I was having fun? I literally just binged it all of yesterday. I was supposed to study and I just didn't do that. Yeah. But it was so fun and so adorable. So yeah, basically, you know, they make out and they're like going heavy on it. And then John Logan walks in and like interrupts them. And he's like, I thought you guys were just tutors. Like, why are you guys making out? And because I guess she doesn't want to admit that like Garrett is special or something, she's like, no, I'm just testing if I make out. I don't even know what she said. I think she was like, I'm just testing if I blush when a guy hits on me. I don't remember what she said. Anyway, and then she walks up to John Logan and she's like, I'm gonna kiss you. And he's like, yes, please. And then like she kisses him too. And Garrett is just like, yo, what is happening? Like, what? I love this scene so much. I just love that she's like, yeah, I'll kiss both of them. Like, I don't care. Because I just feel like it's so out of the box. Like, I don't even know why. I just thought it was cool that like, cause Garrett basically is still getting it on with a bunch of random girls at this time. So I was like, I love that she's not just like randomly pining over him when he's still like getting around. You know what I mean? I don't know if I know what I mean, but I hope you know what I mean. That scene in the weight room scene, top 10 scene. I love that scene. So after that, like after the whole weight room scene and stuff like that, she goes to one of Garrett's game and she meets Kendall, and Kendall is super nice to her, and like she sits with the puck bunnies and Kendall is nice to her. And I hope Kendall is actually a genuinely nice person, because I love girls being like girls and just supporting each other. And I was like, I will be very sad if Kendall like ends up being mean to her because she's in love with Garrett. I don't know, it was just so heartwarming that even though like Kendall liked Garrett, she wasn't mean to Hannah. I was like, yay! And then we're at the party that Garrett and Hannah asked Allie to make them outfits for, And Hannah looks so cute. She was like fully dolled up, like a full face beat. Her hair was done. She looked super nice. She had the bunny ears. She was wearing like a tight corset. Like everything was giving. I was just like, Hannah, you look good tonight. You look real good tonight. Oh, at the party also, like, so Garrett asks Hannah like, oh, what can I get you to drink? And she's like, I don't drink at parties. So he like basically looks around like, do we have anything non-alcoholic here? And then he can't find anything non-alcoholic, but his friend's like, oh, instead of giving her like a red cup, like give her a closed can. Like it's just safer, it's less likely to be tampered with. Like, and he's like, so Garrett gives her a closed can. It's like no pressure if you don't want to drink at all, but if you do want to drink, this is a closed can. And she's like, yeah, you're right, I can't drink that. And I was just like, high five. Like, I love the no pressure. Like, I'm sorry, but like the way I'm like, oh yay, like they're consent kings and they're so nice, and like they're not being pressury or creepery. You're probably thinking the bar is in hell. It is, but in the book they were pressury and they were like creepy. Like it was just so weird. So just seeing him not be a creep and seeing him like be like, no pressure, I'm putting no pressure on you, I want you to have fun, was making me so happy. Oh, okay, so in the show right now, Allie and Sean, like from the jump, from episode 1, they are not having like a blissful relationship. Like, I don't know, he's always up like judging her, or like he's not into anything she's into. They're clashing so much, and she's like, I guess she keeps trying to like make it work, but at the same time she's constantly being like, I'm not satisfied. So like they're just not having a blissful relationship. But they basically come to the party as Ben Affleck and J-Lo, and like Allie looks great, she knows she look hot, but then she's also like, Sean, you look like a regular dude, like you just look like you're wearing like jeans and a button down, like you're just not giving what I wanted to give. And so like, I don't know, it just wasn't like, they were having conflict, let's just say they weren't having bliss. And I'm sorry, but like she emotionally cheats on her mans, because like she's dancing at the party and then Dean comes up and he starts dancing with her, and she's like proper dancing with each other, like it's getting smoky up in this room, that's how hot it was getting. And I'm like, emotional cheating is wrong, but I support women's rights and women's wrongs. And she's just so hot, and Dean is so hot, and he's so pretty, and they're both so like goofy and carefree, that like even though like they were dancing and I know it was cheating, I know it was wrong, I was just like, yay. Like, I don't know, he's just like, I felt like he would match her freak so well. I'm not gonna lie, low-key, after how hot Allie and Dean were, I was low-key disappointed when they left and we got back to Garrett and Hannah, because they are like, they don't have the same level of fire, they don't have the same level of passion. But okay, wait, something that happened before Allie and Dean started dancing was Jules goes up to Hannah, and when Garrett leaves her alone, and Jules basically says, oh, I'm surprised you locked down Garrett, he's basically known to not date anybody, he's not into girlfriends. And Hannah's like, why? Because a girl like me can't get a guy like him? And I'm like, first of all, Hannah, a girl like you, like a stunning a stunning gorgeous goddess, you can get anybody. Like, that line alone made me want to fight her for herself. I was like, I'm here to defend your honor, even if you're the one like saying bad about your honor, because like, girly, you can get anybody. So but Jules is basically like, no, it's not because I'm judging you, I didn't know that, like, I just didn't know that Garrett was even doing the whole girlfriend thing. And Hannah was like, yeah, he is, and it's me. And I was like, deep. Okay, so at the end of the party, Hannah stays over at Garrett's house to basically convince everybody that like they're a couple and like they're getting down at night. And then Garrett like basically is like falls asleep on the he like plops down on the bed, and she's like, "You're not even gonna pretend to be a gentleman and let me have the bed?" And it's like, "I've never pretended to be a gentleman." And she's like, "Okay, fine." And then he gets up and she sees like the bruise on his side from like being like slammed into like sideboards in hockey games, and she's like, "You can have the bed." But he's like, "Because you pity me? I don't need your pity. I'll sleep on the floor." And she's like, "No, no, no. You bruised up man. You can sleep on the bed." And he's like, "No, no." And so both of them are so stubborn. They both sleep on like the floor, but they sleep on different sides of the bed. So the bed is completely empty, but they're just on different sides of the bed on the floor. And I was like, I love stubborn kings and queens. You know what I mean? I love stubborn people. Even though they're like laying on the floor on different sides of the bed, they start laughing and sending memes. And I think they like Jules posts them and they're like, "Hey, Jules posted us, blah blah blah." And they're happy. And then one thing leads to another, and they both like climb on the bed so that they can like see each other's memes. And Hannah shows him the music she's working on and she's struggling with it, and he's like, also Garrett does not have a single ounce of jealousy in him. He is not jealous, he is not threatened. He's just like a confident king, because he's like, he knows that Hannah likes Justin, but he's also like, you know, Justin's a musician. You should ask him to help you with your lyrics. And I was like, dude, you don't even seem at all worried that like Justin will get this girl. And I guess at this point, yeah, he doesn't like, he and Hannah are just like platonic friends at this point. So like, yeah, he's not threatened. Oh, okay, so at the, I think closer to the end of the episode, Hannah and Justin get on the same bus, presumably to go to a away hockey game, like to go watch it. And they get on the same bus and they like sit together and they're talking and laughing together. And then you just see Garrett in a different bus on like the hockey team's bus, just looking at them longingly and sadly, like, why is Hannah talking to some other dude? And it's like, oh no, he's in his emotions. But then they zoom out and you notice that like nobody's sitting beside Garrett on the hockey bus, right? So nobody is his seatmate. But not only that, there's nobody sitting in the row before him and the row after him, but then there are hockey players in like the other rows, and it just looks like he looks like they're avoiding him. He looks like he gives off bad vibes and they're like, oh, I don't want to sit beside him. And I was like, I don't know, I just found that funny. So that is the end of our recap for episode 2. So I mentioned that I'm not like a lover of that book, so even though they changed the plot a lot, I still really like the show. But if you were a lover of the book, like, what are your views and your take on the show? Do you like it? Like, do you appreciate the changes that were made, or were you just like, why the hell did they do this? Because if I'm being honest, the book and the show are almost nothing alike, to the point where I would say that they basically just use the character names and the same university name. I don't even consider them the same works, just because of how much was changed from one medium to another. But yeah, if you like the book, what are your takes?